starting screen off so I don't have the same boo-boo as I had last week. Hello, hello. The last look at big Sotasil statue before we go, where he told us to go, which is Somerset. Well, thank you very much, Factotum Sanitizer. I hope that Lord Set will bless my endeavors, or whatever she said. Let's go to Somerset then. Oh, we might. Somerset, I actually don't remember if this is, there is a big party. I'm thinking of returning to Clockwork City later and do some interesting quests there. Now I want to finish the main story. Shimmery.
Let the cat fight those monsters! I'm getting out of here! The island sprung a leak. Run!
What cat fight the monsters? What are you talking about?
First, the Queen issues a decree that changes the status of Somerset from an isolated paradise into a tourist attraction. Now, monsters, sea creatures, I've never seen anything like them. Well, I say let the cat fight them. Better him than me.
Monsters, cat, slow down and tell me what happened. Oh, he's so scared.
Suddenly the ground opened, spewing water and strange creatures. They attacked us. Luckily, one of the newcomers, a Khajiit, leaped in and drove them back. Called himself Razum Dar. He could probably use some help if you're so inclined.
Razum Dar is an old friend. I could help him, yeah. I'll talk to Razum Dar. Oh, he's so scared. Oh. Okay, let's see. Where's the cat? See? If the cat were not allowed on the island, you might be dead, buddy. Caliber. Oh, I have updated my pet and my mount. My pet is now a crab. There's plenty of those here on the shores. And my mount is a griffin thingy. Yes, that's Razum Dar with the red mane. Now you'll see why people like him.
My friend.
My friend.
Raz is happy to see you, but surprised you didn't help me with these creatures. Not that Raz needed any
I wasn't
help.
here yet.
You must tell me what brought you to Somerset.
Set told me.
After you agreed to assist Raz with his usual cloak and dagger business.
Complications, Raz? That sounds ominous.
Ominous? No more than usual, my friend. But there's work for the Queen's Eye, and this one could use an extra blade if you're willing.
Or extra eye.
Queen Irene issued a decree
Aye,
to open
for
the
me.
borders of Somerset and allow outsiders to have access to the island.
We were late to... Yes, we know each other already. Razum Dar is in the base game. So if you did quests there, you know him quite well. Yeah. That doesn't sound too terrible.
That's what Raz said. But rumors reached the Queen. So this one made the journey and was immediately attacked by strange creatures. Raz doesn't think the two are related. But if you could ask some questions, check on the newcomers, that would help.
I'll ask some questions around the city.
While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing. Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report.
Yeah, he appears in Northern Elsewhere and not in on business. You actually catch him on his off time, and he's quite naughty, isn't he? Oh, he's smiling. Smiling Raz. What were those creatures I saw you fighting?
Raz never saw such monsters in his life. They
Yeah.
appear related to water, but this one tends to avoid this stuff. That pearl, though, Raz swears it was calling those creatures. A mystery for another time, perhaps. Now, we need to see to the newcomers.
In the Galen, or is it? There is a side quest with him in the newer stuff, where you have to pay the awful card game. Anyone in specific you want me to talk to regarding the Queen's decree?
As a matter of fact, Raz made a list. All Newell, a high elf artisan, spoke out. See what she complained about. Then there's Soxolza, a persecuted Argonian newcomer. Finally, Ranuel, a city resident noted in the Divine Prosecution's observation log.
Let me guess, the persecuted Argonian is persecuted for being Argonian in the first degree. What did Neville speak about, and where I can find her?
All Newell complained about it. No. Raz doesn't want to prejudice your investigation. You will find out when you talk to her.
Okay.
The artists like to gather shells along the eastern coast. She uses them to make paints and dyes.
Probably some other player is shooting something. Ranul, that doesn't sound like a high elf name.
True. Not enough syllables. Ranul's a Redguard, whose family has lived in Shimmerin for generations. He's a well-respected trader, with a few warehouses along the docks. Talk to him before the Divine Prosecution decides to arrest him.
What's the divine prosecution?
The Divine Prosecution serves as lawkeepers and protectors of social standards. Very persnickety. When the rules are broken, they record it in their observation logs. If your name winds up on their list, things get complicated.
What do you mean Zolza is being persecuted?
Something to do with monks and newcomer registration. Raz is looking into that. Last I heard, Soxolza was seen leaving the city and heading west. Probably trying to reach the water. Lizards like water, yes?
Yes.
Not Raz.
No, he's a cat.
Raz hates the wet stuff.
He's a cat. What does all this have to do with the geyser and those, or geyser or whatever, and those creatures?
Nothing at all.
Oh.
Unless you think they came to Somerset because of the Queen's decree. No, that would be ridiculous. Let's not lose focus. Just see what Ol Newell, Soxolza, and Ranul have to say about newcomers and the mood in Shimmerin.
What do you expect me to learn by talking to these people?
We need to confirm these rumors or else put an end to them. Everyone should be pleased with the Queen's decree. Opening the border shows progress, yes? However, if any of her loyal subjects reject progress, well, Raz needs to know that too.
How long between your baits? Now I have a picture of the Khajiit grooming themselves with the tongs. I'll go to talk to all Neville, Ranul, and Zolza.
While you ask questions around the city, Raz can take care of some other business. It may or may not involve scratching and clawing.
It probably does.
Let's meet near the entrance to Shimmerin when you have something to report.
Anything I should know about Shimmerin before I head out?
Raz knows very little about city ordinances or how to tell the difference between mead and ale, so let's avoid those topics, yes? Otherwise, this one knows all about the Queen's decree and the initial reaction of the nobles and king lady.
Tell me about the Queen's decree.
Queen Irene, her most excellent leader of the Aldmeri Dominion, has issued a decree opening the once forbidden land of Somerset to traders, visitors, and immigrants of all races. Controversial, yes, but part of her plan for the Dominion's future.
And this is a problem.
For some. High elves talk of perfection, but they are a complicated people. Various individuals in Somerset take issue with their queen, with change of any sort, actually. The king lady, for example. Some nobles. Makes my job complicated.
What's that about the king lady and the nobles?
King Lady Avenice has made her views on the Queen's decree quite clear. She calls it unreasonable, dangerous. A few of the city's nobles have sided with the King Lady, as has the new Oldark at the monastery. My queen permits discussion, to a point.
So the King Lady opposes the Queen's decree.
She has spoken against it. Now Raz needs to know how far she will go to defy the will of the Queen. Does she grumble but welcome the newcomers, or is she using every option at her disposal to block their arrival? Raz will find out, with your help.
Okay, I'm not asking who he is again because how could I forget? Raz. Are you talkable? No, just standing here. Okay, here are some critters. Let's find this smug lady near the seashore. Maybe on the shore. I'm actually not sure anymore. I don't remember. Oh, there she is. See that?
Go find your own patch of beach.
I just want to show people the pretty crabs. Where's mine? Oh, here's mine. Mine is smaller. And here's locals. Okay, let's talk to her because she's aggressive.
Not that you'd understand the concept, but the path to Alaxon requires dedication and complete concentration. I must find the perfect shells, or my pigments will be substandard. And do you know what that will do to my art? Exactly.
If you're a high elf, they treat you less awful, but if you're not a high elf, they all treat you really, really awfully. What's the path to Alaxon?
An ultimate concept practiced widely here in Somerset. Alaxon is the state of perfection that every high elf strives for. The path to Alaxon represents the approach we take to achieve that state. Now, why have you interrupted my work?
I heard you made complaints in Shimmering. I'd like to hear about that.
I believe in caution as much as the next high elf, but sometimes the rules get in the way of common sense. My apprentice lived here for more than a year. Good help is so hard to find, especially among the newcomers. And she was adept at making dyes.
She lived here for more than a year and you still call her a newcomer? What happened to your apprentice?
They took her away. Said they had to scrutinize her qualifications, test her knowledge of culture and etiquette. But I haven't seen her since. My work suffers, so of course I complained to the monks. Now I have to gather my own shells.
Outrageous. Did the monks offer any explanation as to where she was or when she'd be returned?
They told me I could fill out some forms and appeal to the kin lady. But who has time for such bureaucracy? And for a wood elf? I've said too much. I have work to do, and all this aggravation has diverted my path to Alaxon.
I'll let you get back to your work.
Perfection requires constant vigilance, so back to it.
Alright. I'll take your stuff from your backpack. Okay, who do we look for next? Somewhere that way. I'll ride my griffin. Oh no! He's dead. Poor Argonian. GMAT. Somerset is not the wondrous paradise the heralds proclaimed it to be. Despite the fine words in the Queen's decree, the High Elves want nothing to do with outsiders. They treat the newcomers worse than the mud flea on a goa. As soon as I stepped off the boat, priests from the monastery collected me for some sort of cultural assessment to ascertain my understanding of societal rules and regulations. However, no one actually asked me any questions. They locked me in a cell somewhere in the bowels of the monastery along with other newcomers to the island. Something about the whole affair felt wrong to me, like warm water in an otherwise cool stream. When I heard one of the monks give thanks to a Daedric prayer, I knew I had to get out of there. I used the talents and learned from associate who may or may not have belonged to the Thieves Guild. I know you disapprove of my friends. And slipped out of the cell and away from the monastery. In the morning I plan to head to Alinor. Hopefully I can secure passage back to Markmire there. Frankly, at this point, any destination would be preferable to here. Solsa. Well, yeah. I guess to dry. That's why he wanted to come to the water. Poor thing. Why did they kill him? He was already leaving your precious little island. Alright. Let's find the last one. Where do I find Renul? Oh, over there somewhere. Somerset is so pretty. So there's a sky shard here. Let's grab it. The glowy thing is a sky shard. You absorbed 3 and you get a skill point that you can unlock these abilities with. Each of them costs 1 skill point. And whilst a sky shard, it's related to the main story stuff.
Don't look away.
I'm not looking away, but I can't talk to you to give you money. I'm sorry. Zoz, why don't you let me give her money?
A newcomer in the warehouse district. Unusual. But how can I help you today, my friend?
I was wondering how your name ended up in the Divine Persecution's observation log.
The Divine? Who told you that? If a justiciar sent you to try and trick me into confessing...
No.
No. The High Elves would never send a newcomer to perform such a task.
Exactly.
I admit it. I made my thoughts known.
And what were those thoughts, if you don't mind me asking?
I arranged to bring my cousin here to work with me. The ship arrived, but all the newcomers were carted away. For questioning, they said. I complained to the kin lady and anyone else who would listen. And what has it gotten me? Nothing.
You're not a high elf. Have you lived in Somerset very long?
Oh, my family has been here for generations and generations. Before the Queen's decree, outsiders might have been rare, but we were not unheard of. Our business has grown and gets better every day. That's why I sent for my cousin. We need the help.
Do you like living in Somerset?
Somerset is a rare and beautiful jewel in the Abetian Sea. I love it here. The High Elves treat us like children, but they have never been hostile. The Queen's decree has stirred the waters, though. I fear it will get worse before it gets better.
I have mail. I don't have mail. Is there another sky shard here somewhere? Yeah, I know you're desperate, but I still can't give you money. Okay, let's find Raz. Oh, law book. Fang of Sea Vipers by Tellinger. Look at the pretty city. There's some commotion.
This is unheard of. Why have you closed the monastery?
Good people, I hear your concerns.
Well, the workers I hired, they were aboard the ship from Rivenspire.
The kin lady and I, we have only your best interests in mind. Every guest must be sequestered while we ascertain their suitability for Altmer society.
The old Dark's right. Lock up the newcomers.
Send the newcomers back where they came from. We don't want them here.
They're not nice, aren't they? Over here, here is a trial, a 12 people thing, and this lady is someone who gives you the quest and asks you to help her friends. And after you do this trial, she always sits here with her doggo, and you can talk to her.
Honor and praise. I'm glad the stars saw fit to see our paths cross again, my friend. Cloudrest's recovery has been going smoothly, with the help of my order. It'll take time, but I can already see my city coming alive once more.
Yeah, the wings are a part of the uniform of a Welkinar. She's a Welkinar. They are riders of griffins. Are you fellow Welkinars?
As well as can be expected, given what we've been through. Still, everyone seems to have recovered. Sororia said that if she had to stay another minute in bed, she'd set it on fire. I take that as a good sign.
And also a player can unlock the outfit and have wings too. I have one of my characters that has an outfit that looks like a Polish winged hussar, because those wings look like theirs. What are you doing in Shimmerine?
Begging the nobles for funds. What else? They're not particularly pleased with this whole embarrassment. That's exactly how they refer to it too, an embarrassment. They'd rather ignore Cloudrest exists than admit to any kind of defeat.
Do you think you'll be able to secure funding?
Oh, I'll get that funding all right, one way or another. Maybe next meeting I'll bring Dare along. Try to scare some sense into those bureaucrats. Actually, that's not a half bad idea.
Dare is her griffin. Very, very big. And players can have, in our chest. No, where's chest? Oh, he doesn't have it unlocked? Oh, because I misspelled. Welkina. We can have, like this. We can't really see. Or long robe. It always has wings at the back. Okay, Raz.
Such anger. Raz never expected to hear such words from the Queen's loyal subjects. The sentiment isn't universal, but enough feel this way for Raz to be concerned. Did you learn anything interesting from the people I sent you to talk to?
The artist's assistant and the Red Guard's cousin have been both sequestered.
Sequestered? Just a different word for imprisoned, yes.
Yeah.
Ranul's cousin just arrived, but O'Newell's assistant has lived on Somerset since long before the Queen ever issued her decree. What about the lizard? What did Sok Solza have to say?
So, Solza was dead by the time I reached him. I found this letter in his pack.
Why would the Aldar gather up newcomers and non-High Elf residents alike and send them to the monastery? Does the King Lady condone this behavior? Raz's head itches, and not in a good way. Our course is clear, Five Claw. We must go to the monastery.
All right, I'll help you investigate the monastery.
Raz admires your enthusiasm, but this one needs you to enter the monastery on your own.
Oh?
Raz has other fish to catch. This one will help you get past the sentry, though. When you notice that the sentry is distracted, just sleep quietly inside.
Okay. Distract him. Okay, let's go back into the town.
You there! I have a... Damn it, why won't this work?
Did you see a golden knight?
Yeah?
I have no idea what that was, and I'm not sure I want to know.
It was Golden Knight, obviously.
Sentry! Raz owes you for that game of cards and has come to pay.
Well, I don't recall any... You say I won some gold?
Don't you remember? Raz always pays his debts, and he always buys the drinks.
Gold and drinks? Well, my relief should be along soon, so why not?
It's easy to bribe a high elf, apparently. Monastery of Serene Harmony. Okay. Let's find things we're looking for. Some cat somewhere, I hear. I'll also take everything from wardrobes. Garlic and pepper, something. Oh, I can read this. List of sequestered guests. Wood elves. 4 males, 3 females. Okay, there's a list of everybody who's not a high elf picked up, and I don't know what they do with them. Kin Lady's letter. My dear Aldark Tilkala, I am so glad you suggested transferring to your beloved monastery. I was happy to use my influence to make that happen, especially after that insightful discussion we had concerning Queen Rain's radical and frankly dangerous decree. I look forward to working with you to make sure Shimmerin and indeed all Somerset remains safe and secure. Sounds like it's not safe and secure to foreigners. Your plan to sequester newcomers in order to test the suitability of residency in Shimmerin is a stroke of genius. Determining, or I don't know, who has the ability and temperament to become productive members of our society and who does not will allow us to spot troublemakers and lacksidal. I hate those words. Screw it. Transients before any damage is done. It isn't a perfect solution, but it will suffice until we can urge the unforeseen queen to rescind this order and send all the Nebera, the unwelcome, back to where they came from. Send me a list of candidates you deem acceptable for life in Somerset. I'm sure Proxy Queen Alwinawe will appreciate having documentation concerning whom we permitted to stay and whom we sent away. I keep saying that Somerset is sacrosanct. Let Oridon deal with all the races. After all, our beloved queen spends all her time there anyway, carousing with cats and wood elves. I'm sure she'll love more company. Kin Lady Avinis. Kin Lady Ascol. I hear a cat here somewhere. Hello, wakey wakey.
Oh, not now, please. Your spiritual well-being can wait until after my nap.
Where can I find the people that have been sequestered?
You'll have to ask one of the monks that the new Aldork brought with him. They deal with all the newcomer testing and evaluations. I'm just a simple monk trying to catch up on my sleep. That was a hint, by the way.
Yeah, I got it, but I'm ignoring it. Tell me about the Aldark and the new monks.
Aldark Tilkala arrived right after the Queen issued her decree. He came highly recommended by Kin Lady Avanis, or so I heard. It's not unusual for monks to form attachments and move together, but there's something strange about that bunch.
Strange? What do you mean?
The Aldark and his monks keep to themselves. They've taken the Undercroft for their own purposes and ordered the rest of us to avoid the ancient vaults beneath the monastery. Now, please, let me get back to my nap.
You must have some idea where they're sequestering the newcomers.
Again with the questions about the newcomers. Why do you care about the complexities of Altma bureaucracy?
To know things.
Still, if I had to make a guess, I'd say they were taking into the Undercroft for registration and processing. Now go away.
Anything else I should know about this monastery?
The monastery should be a place of peace and meditation. The Aldork has closed us down until further notice. That means if any of the monks spot you, they'll raise the alarm. Me? I never saw you.
You're sleeping.
Now, if you don't mind, my nap awaits.
Okay, you can nap. So far nobody spotted me, but you never know. Oh, there's someone. Monk. Some protector. Oh, another monk. No, there are people here? They didn't pay attention to me before. Oh, I didn't see them all, not on this side. Yeah.
Are you lost?
Yeah.
You can't be in here.
Sorry. I'm looking for an exit. Get all your stuff. I only know sarcophagus. What's this? Oh, what's this? Preview. Oh. Nice loot. I can now make this furnishing and put in my house. This one doesn't
You
seem to.
belong on the other side of that door.
Yeah. What are you going to do about it? There's a lot of cats here. I can't see them because it's dark, but I hear them meowing. Okay. Abyssal Pearl.
Unusual knick-knack for an Aldork's office, wouldn't you agree?
I have no idea what that is, so don't know.
I noticed you skulking around while I was engaged in some skulking of my own. I suppose we both came to the monastery with a similar purpose in mind.
And what purpose would that be?
The sequestered newcomers.
Ah, yeah.
I came to find out what happened to a friend. I assume that's what brought you here as well? A house of worship shouldn't be used as an internment camp, and
Yeah.
it shouldn't be locked to the public either.
I saw a pearl like that. There were strange creatures around nearby.
Interesting. I've never seen anything quite like it. I find it intriguing and a bit disturbing. But we aren't here to discuss curios. Strange creatures notwithstanding, we need to find out what's happening with the missing newcomers.
How did you happen to get past the sentry, by the way?
The sentry doesn't appear to have stopped you, so I could ask you the same question.
I had help from
Let's
cats.
just agree that we both have our methods. Curious, but I feel that there's more going on in Shimmerine than the usual politics and community relations.
What else could be going on here?
That's the question, my cautious friend. We have a newly appointed Aldork and a disgruntled kin lady, both opposed to the Queen's decree. What's their connection to the missing newcomers? I was about to explore the Undercroft. Care to join me?
I'll meet you in the Undercroft.
A curious pearl. I wonder where the Aldork acquired it. Probably not important. I'll meet you in the Undercroft, and we can see what's going on with the newcomers.
Actually, it is very important. Okay, let's go before they kick us out.
You have no right to be in here.
Okay. Jill, your pants.
Something's wrong down here.
Yeah.
I sense magic. Vile magic.
Oh, there's a lady here.
Cages? These people did nothing to deserve such treatment. There's someone alive over there. See if you can help her.
Thank the divines! You aren't one of the monks. Please, let me out of here.
Why did they lock you in a cage?
It's a nightmare. We came to Somerset to seek new opportunities. We barely stepped off the ship when they marched us to the monastery. Instead of questioning us or the usual high elf bureaucracy, they locked us in these cages.
There are only a few of you here. Where are the rest of the newcomers?
The monks gathered them a few moments ago and took them through the door on the far side of the chamber. Please, let me out of here before they take me away like the others.
I'll unlock the cage and then see what's going on in the next chamber.
Is that a scoffin?
Oh, thank you for setting me free.
Scoffin? What? Clavicles, files, scoffin?
A Daedra. Here? And that's a scoffin, if I remember my Daedric recitations correctly. Very curious.
What's a dead scoffin doing in monastery devoted to the Eighth?
An excellent question, and one I hope to find the answer to. From the evidence before us, it appears this Nord killed the scoffin before he succumbed to his own wounds. Good for him.
Is that
I found
so?
this key on the creature's belt, so we can open that door.
That's where the prisoner said the monks took the rest of the newcomers.
Then I suggest we pick up the pace. We need to determine what's actually happening down here, and who's behind all this. Without answers to those questions, we won't be able to decide on our best course of action.
What about your missing friend?
I'll explain everything later. For now, we need to hurry.
Okay.
More newcomers? Unfortunately, the magic only affects those who have been prepared. But never fear. Your turn will
Daedric
come.
cultists?
Oh, what are you doing? Oh no! What are you doing to them? Oh no! You stupid scaffin!
I'll deal with the pearl. You hold off these creatures.
Now he's running. Now you're running, huh? You run all you want. Oh,
The
he
pearl's
disappeared.
magic attracts these creatures. Hold them off while I complete my spell.
More? No? That's it.
Come on, let's talk outside.
Okay, let's talk outside. Let's talk.
Those poor people.
Yeah.
This wasn't just about newcomers and opposing the Queen's decree. That was Daedric magic back there. I just wish we had arrived a few moments earlier.
What happened to the pearl? Did you destroy it?
I promised to explain what I know. I suppose that now's as good a time as any. I'm a member of the Sigic Order. Our Right Master sent me to investigate a warning we received about a plot involving Somerset. My inquiries led me here.
I gave you one guess who sent the warning to the Right Master. The Sigic Order.
The Sigic Order is an ancient magical monastic society. We served as advisors to the rulers of Tamriel, but that was before we removed our island home from the world. Now this threat has drawn us back. But why are you involved in all this?
I'm working with Razumdar, one of the Queen's Eyes. But what happened to the pearl? Also, I was sent here by Sotasil.
An Eye of the Queen? Interesting. I diffused the Daedric magic and transported the pearl to Artaeum, the Sigic island for safekeeping and study, so we can learn more about it. But we can discuss this further once we get out of here.
Alright, let's go. Yeah, so she's a Sigic. Stupid Daedra. Stupid Daedra. You already kicked your master's ass once. Kicking it again. Stupid Daedra. Where's the exit? Where do I get out of here? I came from here, and where do I go? Here.
Living on Artaeum for a few centuries doesn't prepare you for physical activity. Let the Eye of the Queen know what we discovered, and I'll catch up with you later.
Okay. Where's the exit? Let's talk to the smug people. I can't? Oh. Where's Raz? Bosma dancing, Bosma playing. Where's Raz?
I suppose the divine prosecution helped you settle into our fair city? Or maybe it was monks at the monastery. I never remember who's dealing with these sorts of things.
Yeah.
Your gold is good here. Just don't expect a seat at the table. Or a glass.
So what am I giving you my gold for? And if they took care of me, I would not be here. Let's sell things I don't need. This. All this. This. Not polite. I need to fix my armor too. Do I have the armor fixing things? Raz, where are you? I assume you are without a glass or a table. Because these guys are not nice. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. Is that your room? Raz is not very tall.
Ah, this one's new partner returns. What interesting scandal did you uncover in the monastery? Tell Raz every juicy detail.
The people that were sequestered were killed to power Daedric ritual. I found this letter.
That isn't the kind of scandal Raz was hoping for.
Yeah, I thought so.
Murder, Daedric rituals, and traitorous behavior have a way of ruining an otherwise perfect day. We need to learn the extent of the Kin Lady's involvement. And by we, Raz means you.
No, of course. You want me to go and accuse the Kin Lady of conspiring with the Daedric cult?
Accuse? Not exactly. Raz wants you to talk to her. See what she knows about the Old Dark. The Kin Lady is meeting with local leaders. Attend that meeting and learn the truth. This invitation and set of elegant clothes will get you through the door.
I also met a mage from the Sigic order in a monastery.
A Sigic? Raz has heard rumors, but there are always rumors about the Siegiks. For an island of sages who disappeared more than 300 years ago, they certainly seem to get around. Did this Sijik mage say what the Order was investigating?
Something about the warning, and she seemed pretty interested in the life-sucking pearl.
There was a life-sucking pearl?
Yeah.
You should probably have led with that bit of information. Well, we can worry about the Sijik mage and figure out where these pearls came from later. For now, go see what the Kin Lady has to say.
Shouldn't you speak to the Kin Lady? You work for the Queen after all.
Kin Lady Avanice and Raz do not get along. You see, there was a horse, a platter of pudding tarts, and... No. This one won't bore you with the sordid details. Besides, everyone behaves well when they see Raz. You will learn more than I would.
You think? Why do you behave like this warning is a big mysterious warning? Sotasil told us that he would warn them what's going on. We know who sent the warning. We know what it's about. We've been there. Okay. Let's see where we can get... Oh, I'm lost in the town. Where do I go? This way or this way? Not this way. Those towns are very complicated to navigate. Use elegant outfits, okay? You're trying to tell me that this looks better than my regular look? I mean, no? Maybe because it's Altma and not Dunma. Hello, Mr. Bosma. Oh, there's something to at the end. An end to isolation. Oh, another law book. Rejection of open borders.
Yes? And who might you be?
I need to speak to Kin Lady Recis.
The Kin Lady is currently engaged. She's holding a conference with Shimmerine's elite to discuss certain political matters.
I have an invitation.
Yes, so you do. And may I say that your outfit is suitably elegant.
Thank you.
Please, head into the garden.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, where did Raz get a fake invitation for me?
We all have concerns regarding the Queen's decree. I assure you that I am working with all Dark Takala to safeguard the sanctity of Shimmerine and all of Somerset. Enjoy the food and drink. Business of the city requires my attention, but I shall rejoin you shortly.
Let's talk to everybody. Oh, we can talk to. Cannon Reef El Quisa.
A newcomer here in the Kin Lady's garden, and during her latest rant on the dangers of the Queen's decree? Oh, that's just grand. I really can't wait to see her expression when she finally notices your presence.
Oh, she just left. You seem to be taking the business of the Queen's decree rather lightly.
Am I? Some probably see it that way. What do I care? I'm the Canon Reeve of Shimmerine. Kin Lady Avanice may outrank me, but I'm the one who keeps the city's bureaucracy functioning smoothly. It's what I do. What were we talking about again?
Do you know what the Kin Lady plans to do about the Queen's decree?
Complain, most likely. My cousin excels at that. I assume she may have something else worked out with the new Old Ark, but she has yet to bring me into her confidence on the matter. Frankly, I assumed that's why we were here.
What's a Cannon Reef? Oh, look at her expression, so sour.
I'm a Canon Reeve, my dear.
Yeah, but what does it mean?
We established that.
Ask
it's an
what,
official title,
not who.
given to diplomats and bureaucrats who administer to county seats. A gift from my cousin Avanice, I suppose. In your land, I'd probably be called the mayor.
In my land, you probably would be called a can. Arimoril. I can't talk to Arimoril. Can I talk to this Justicia Suriwen?
Another newcomer?
Mm-hmm.
Ink has barely dried on the Queen's decree, and there are already more of you than I can count. I look forward to hearing how the King Lady and New Aldark plan to protect Somerset's interests.
It sounds like you're not too fond of the Queen's decision to open Somerset's borders.
Does it? Perhaps. The newcomers are different. They understand neither Altmer society nor the rules of protocol and etiquette. Makes my job as an officer of the Divine Prosecution more difficult. I just hope the New Aldark really has a plan.
What's the Divine Prosecution? I already asked Raz that, didn't I?
The Divine Prosecution serves as Somerset's premier law keepers. We enforce secular and religious law, making sure that all social and cultural rules are adhered to. The fact that you didn't know that proves the Aldark's concerns are justified.
What can you tell me about the New Aldark?
Well, don't really know the New Aldark all that. Wait a moment. I don't know who you are, and I'm not sure I like the tenor of your questions. Perhaps you should move along before I forget this is a social gathering and that I'm not on duty?
Craft Reef Dalmo.
First, the Kin Lady invites us to discuss the situation in Shimmerine. Then, she tells us to sit here and wait. And now, a damn Nebara is standing close enough for me to smell it.
Nebara?
Well, Nebara, speak up. Or is talking not part of your repertoire?
Well, you swit. What do you think the Kin Lady is planning?
Everyone knows what the Kin Lady thinks of the Queen's decree. I suppose she plans to oppose the new policy. Keep more Nebara from reaching our shores. Somehow. I just hope she doesn't do anything that ruins our expanded trade agreements.
How do you feel about Queen's decree and Noir?
That's a loaded question, Nebara. Look, I get as nervous as a pigeon in a griffin eyrie just thinking about having a lizard living right next door. But I can't argue with the Queen's success. The expanded trade agreements have been a star send.
Oh, this word is read eyrie? My entire guild says it's airy, so okay, we've been all wrong. What does that one mean, Nebara? Can you tell me, Noir?
Nebara? Well, I suppose that's our word for the newcomers. I guess you could say it's impolite, but old habits can be hard to break. No offense.
Offense taken.
I don't have an issue with the newcomers. Some of my best workers weren't born on the island.
Fine, you swit. That's not offensive either. Trust me. Hi, old dog.
How bold of you.
Mm-hmm.
The Nebara dares to stand in my holy presence.
Oh.
Very well, bold Nebara. What can the new Aldark of Shimmerine do for you? And please, try not to bore me or spray any spittle on my spotless vestments.
Well, you arrogant Noir, I hear that you and the Kin Lady have a plan for administering the Queen's decree.
You heard that somewhere, did you? I'll have to have a discussion with the Divine Prosecution about how lax our security has become. No, I jest. The Kin Lady and I have nothing but the best interests of Somerset and the newcomers in mind.
Is that why you're sequestering newcomers and all the non-high elves beneath the monastery?
You really are well informed about things here in Shimmerine, aren't you?
Yeah.
For a Nebara.
You keep calling me a Nebara. Oh, come on. I know what it means. I just asked. What does it mean, Yun and Noir?
You're right. Where are my manners? Using a word you couldn't possibly be expected to understand. It means unwelcome. As in, you are not welcome here.
Do you know what sweat means? I see. And is it common for high elf monks to conspire with Daedra?
That's a serious accusation to toss around so casually. What did you say your name was again? I want to make sure to add it to the Divine Prosecution's observation log. For your own protection, you understand.
If you'll excuse me, Aldrak Tilkala, I just remember I have someplace else to be.
I suddenly remembered some business I need to deal with as well. Feel free to pester the other guests in my absence.
I already have. Alrighty, let's go upstairs to the kin lady.
How dare you barge into my home without so much as a by your leave?
Anything interesting? Any law books? No. Okay, let's go and talk to her. Or be talked at, which is more likely.
No, I refuse to deal with one of the Queen's guests, especially not in my own home. How did you get in here, by the way?
Through the
No,
door.
Never mind that. Since you found your way in, I assume you can find your way back out. Before I call the guards.
Why do you oppose the Queen's decree?
Oh, such innocence. You really want to know why I oppose the Queen's order to allow newcomers to enter Somerset? Because I'm trying to protect both the island and the newcomers. It's in everyone's best interest that we maintain a separation.
You have to walk me through that one. And the Aldark agrees with the efforts to protect the island and the newcomers?
Aldark Tilkala came highly recommended. He has grand plans for protecting Shimmerine. Grand plans. Unfortunately, in my haste to deal with the Queen's decree, I may have made an error in judgment.
An error in judgment?
Not that it's any concern of yours, but my Chancellor has been unable to verify the Aldark's existence prior to when we met. And I recommended him for the position at the monastery. I assure you, Kin Lord Millenthal praised Tilkala to no end.
And were you aware that the Aldark's monks are killing the newcomers and the monastery?
That's preposterous.
I've
Aldark
been there.
Tikala sequesters
Seen
the
it.
newcomers to ascertain their suitability for life in Somerset. Those who pass will find a place here. As for the rest, they'll be returned to wherever they came from. That's what we agreed to.
Like the Argonian, huh? It sounds like you should see for yourself what's happening at the monastery.
My lady, one of the monks said to deliver this message. It's from the Aldark himself.
The Coral Forest. An odd location for a meeting, but I need to hear the Aldark's explanation.
I'm free to leave, huh? Okay. Let's go through the door outside before she defenestrates me. Alright, I can take off this green outfit and stay in... Oh. How do I take the green outfit if there is no outfit? I don't know. Will it go away? Yeah, I can see you waving at me.
Psst. Pretend you are adjusting your boot or admiring the architecture.
Okay.
As hard as it may be, look anywhere but directly at Raz. Good, good. Now, tell Raz what you learned at the King Lady's manor.
The kin lady believes that the newcomers are being sequestered and sent away.
Raz thinks Avanice is as naive as she is complicit, but she is not a murderer. This new Aldark, though, has so much blood on his hands, it looks like he's wearing red gloves. From what I could discover, he didn't exist before he came to Shimmerine.
I overheard that the kin lady was going to meet the Aldark in the Coral Forest.
The Coral Forest? A strange meeting place.
That's what she said.
Raz thinks we should go and see what the Aldark is up to. After I take back that outfit, I might need it again later. Ah, you have a pretty admirer, my friend. The Sijic sage, yes? Here she comes now.
Oh, she likes her already. Let me find out what Valsiren has to say.
I'm glad I found you. While watching the King Lady's mansion, I saw her ladyship sneak out the back and leave the city.
The King Lady is meeting the Aldark in the Coral Forest. Raz smells something, and it isn't moon sugar biscuits.
Your reputation precedes you, Eye of the Queen. I am Valsiren of the Sijic Order, and I agree that the Aldark is more than a simple monk.
We should work together, yes? But let's travel separately, to avoid attracting unwanted attention. Raz will find you both at the Coral Forest.
She left like Sota still, same way. By the way, Eye of the Queen means that he's the spy. He's a special spy. Okay, we go into some forest. Yeah, okay, we can go down foot. Not my feet, though. His feet.
I heard you let the Tooth Mole trader go free. I guess everyone deserves a second chance.
How do I get out of this town? Is that the exit? No. Is that the exit? Oh, maybe. Oh dear. I'm going the wrong way. Very wrong way. Oh, I'm lost. Where's my GPS? Up or down? Oh, I'm going into the river. Excuse me. Yeah, okay, I've been here. Now where do I go? Oh, that way. Let's upgrade my horsey.
You'd think I'd resent the way most of those high elves treat those of us they consider to be inferiors. Well, maybe I do. Let's just say they ought to check the straps on their saddles, if you catch my meaning.
I do.
What can I help you with?
If you're a high elf, first he's sucking up to you. It's a completely different tone of voice. I would like to do this. Okay. No, wait, I can port that on the way shrine. That will be slightly faster. Here. I don't know. It looks like in the middle between them, but oh well.
One of Somerset's more unique environments, the Coral Forest. I used to love coming here when I was growing up. We need to find out why the Aldark asked King Lady Avanice to meet him out here.
How do we find the Aldark and the King Lady?
Based on what we saw in the monastery's undercroft, I'm hesitant to use magic to locate them. I suppose we'll have to find them through mundane means. Too bad the Queen's spy isn't here yet. I understand he's good at this sort of thing.
He is a spy, so we just go down the shore hoping to find something suspicious. He's a baby viper, he's a mama viper, or he's another mama viper. Mama viper wants to fight. What? Oh, another mama viper. There's Yagra here.
That wasn't part of the plan, Aldark.
You know nothing of the plan, you fool. Let me give you a taste of what the Prince of Bargains has in store for this pitiful world.
Your prince! I want no part of Daedra. Help!
Earl of Clavicus Vile. Okay, Earl of Clydesville.
Come, Nebara. Let me show you the power bestowed upon me by the Prince of
You deal
Bargains.
with the older.
Fine, you wit.
Destroy.
Couldn't even finish your sentence. Oh, destroy the pearl. Smash. Smash. When in doubt, smash. Where are you, Valthurin? Yeah, I see you. How you doing?
Razumdar apprehended the kin lady.
Good.
They're at the west edge of the Coral Forest.
Okay.
What happened to Aldok Tilkalar? Did he escape?
Aldok Tilkar is dead. I heard him mention the Prince of Bargains.
I think we can conclude that Tilkalar wasn't actually an Aldok. At least, not with his connection to the Prince of Bargains' Clavicus Vial. Strange magic and creatures worry me, however. Hopefully the pearl I sent to Artaeum can tell us more.
You think you can learn something from the pearl?
You'd be surprised what a particular object can reveal if you know how to unlock its secrets. I need to return and tell Rightmaster Ikesis all that transpired here. If you're willing, I'd like you to come to Artaeum and confirm my story.
Who's Rightmaster Ikesis?
The Rightmaster leads the Sijic Order from Kapora Tower on the island of Artaeum. This spell attunes you to a portal near Shimmerine in the ruins of the Keep of 11 Forces. It always leads to Artaeum, no matter the island's current location.
I'll go to Artaeum and talk to the Rightmaster after I check in with Razumdar.
One more adjustment and there. You are now attuned.
Ooh, I'm blue.
Find me on Artaeum after you finish with the Eye of the Queen.
Bye. They could make this animation of porting available to players so we can use it if we have Sijic membership when we port to other places instead of the regular one. Would be nice.
Claw. The King Lady and Raz had the most illuminating conversation.
Yeah? What did you learn?
You can't treat me like some sort of
Queen Irene will be...
You horrid creature.
Oh, he's face palming. Horrid creature? What do you say?
Queen Irene will be disappointed that the King Lady of Shimmerine allowed a false Aldar to murder so many newcomers.
I hope so.
Such a scandal makes other travelers uneasy about coming here, yes?
The Aldar called on the Prince of Bargains before I killed them.
The Prince of Bargains? That could only be Clavicus Vial.
Yeah.
What oblivion-inspired nest of vipers has Raz stumbled into? This one has a very bad feeling about all of this. Where is the Sijic sage? Raz would like to ask her what she thinks.
Valkyrie returned to Artaeum. She invited me to come and speak to the Rightmaster.
The Sijic Order's interest in all of this concerns Razumdar. This one has never had much love of magic, or those that practice the art. On the other hand, now Raz has his own person on the inside. An Eye of Raz, if you will, yes?
Valthurin said the Order would try to find out more about the Oldark and the Abyssal Pearls.
Then you must go to Artaeum and discover what the Sijics have learned. When you return, you can tell Raz all about it so he can pass it along to the Queen. Yes, Raz likes this plan. In the meantime, Raz will investigate the Daedric connection.
What do you say, Kin Lady?
Have you come to gloat? To kick me while I wallow in my own misery?
Sure.
Well, go ahead. I deserve it.
Yep. How did you get involved with Aldar Tilkalar?
I met him at Kinlord Millenthal's party in Eleanor. We had similar ideas about the Queen's decree, and I recommended that he lead the monastery. Somerset isn't a stew pot, and the various races aren't ingredients to be sprinkled in like so much spice.
So you knew he planned to kill the newcomers.
What a hateful accusation. Tilkala told me he was going to send them back where they came from. I had no idea he planned to kill them. I give you my word. I just wanted the newcomers to go away. And to find out he worshipped Daedra? How crude.
Do all of the monks at the monastery worship Daedra?
I certainly hope not. We'll have to get the Divine Prosecution in there to gather up the monks Tilkala brought with him to Shimmerine. We can't have Daedric cultists desecrating a holy site. I suppose I need to beg for mercy from the proxy queen.
That would probably be for the best. So there's a camp here. I'll clean your backpack. Okay, let's go to Artaeum. Wait, isn't the other one closer? Nah, not really. There's sometimes Sotha Breton walking back and forth here as a vendor with a dog named Fluffy Face. Lady Fluffy Face or something like this. Here. Woo! Let's go. Look at the sky. The Bora Tower. Visit Somerset. I don't know. They grab people and then kill them, so I might not go
And
there.
there was no sign of Lathan. I don't know whether to be grateful or concerned.
We'll find him, Val. Now go check on the Pearl while I speak to our new guest.
Psijics are very polite, even for high elves.
What a rare honor Valcerin bestowed upon you. Only a select few not of our order have ever walked upon this sacred island. Val tells me your aid was indispensable in uncovering the false Aldark's plot on Somerset.
We discovered that newcomers to Somerset were being murdered to power the abyssal pearls.
Unfortunate, certainly. The magic you describe sounds familiar, though I can't quite recall where I've heard of it before. I fear the pearls may be a harbinger of the threat Sothasil warned us about.
See, I knew that he was the one who warned you. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Sothasil, what threat? I don't understand. What do you mean I don't understand? I discovered what's going on! And he told me he'd warned the Psijics about the Daedric plot. Why am I so stupid? Oh dear.
Sothasil, one of the living gods of the Dark Elf Tribunal.
No.
He's an honorary member of our order. After an attack on his clockwork city, he warned us about a Daedric threat to Somerset and Artaeum.
After I saved
I
him.
sent Valcerin to investigate.
After I saved him and helped him to understand what's going on. Is there anything more I can do to help after saving him?
Indeed. But not until we finish studying the pearl Valcerin brought us. There are mysteries to unravel, and Val believes you will be instrumental to our success. We can get started immediately, unless you want to explore our island first. The next step involves a thorough examination of the strange pearl you and Valcerin recovered from beneath the Shimmerine Monastery. Hopefully, we can learn more about the false Aldark and the source of the pearl's magic.
You can use magic to get the pearl to reveal all that.
We are the Sijic Order, friend of Valcerin.
Okay.
There is very little we cannot accomplish through the application of the old ways. Every object remembers its history. The trick involves selecting the correct ritual to reveal those buried memories.
I like how he calls me friend of Valcerin. Can I do anything to help?
While I head inside to begin the augury ritual, I'd like you to go to Sotha Seal's study in the tower.
Oh, yeah.
Find my acolyte, Oriandra, and ask her for Sotha Seal's amplification elixir. We may need it if the pearl proves to be resistant to our magic.
I've been in his bedroom. I can go to his study. No problem. I'll find Oriandra and get amplification elixir. Well, the Sijics are doing things to the pearl. Or I can talk to him again. Let's see what he has to say.
Oriandra should be in Sotha Seal's chambers, cataloging his old research and experiments. Tell her I need the amplification elixir to strengthen our augury ritual. That should help us determine what the pearl is and where it came from.
Valcerin called you the Right Master. Does it make you the leader of the Sijic Order?
Leader implies command, and a level of structure more suited to an army than an order of mystic monks. That said, I oversee the Sijic Order and our conclave of the 11 forces. Someone must steer the ship, after all. Is there something else?
Where is this place exactly?
You have traveled across the mystic realms to reach the island we call Artaeum.
Yeah, I ask
As
where
an uninitiated,
is it?
this may sound confusing, but the Sijic Order changes the location of its headquarters on occasion. And by that I mean we move the entire island.
So we're not in Tamriel.
Tamriel? My friend, you left the boundaries of Nirn behind you when you stepped through that portal.
Oh.
Only a select few, not of our order, are ever granted this honor.
Oh, thank you.
Luminaries such as Sotha Seal and yourself.
Ooh.
To everyone else, Artaeum remains sealed.
I'm on a level of Sotha Seal. Wow, that's some VIP invitation here. Can't you use magic to summon the component you need?
The ritual has reached a critical stage. If we stop now, we'll have to start all over again. Besides, such a trivial use of magic is beneath members of the Sijic Order. Find my acolyte, Oriandra. She's the only Imperial currently in the Order.
Aren't the members of the Sijic Order all High Elves?
While the majority of our Order falls under the Altmer persuasion, we sometimes invite those of other races who possess powerful magical talents to join us. Oriandra is one such individual. Now, if you would, we really need that ritual component.
I suppose Kaimer/Dunmer Sotha Seal is another such individual. Can I talk to Val? No. Okay,
Friend
then.
of Valcerin, I have a proposal for you.
Yeah, I'm not chasing the time portals. Not right now, no. Friend of Valcerin. Okay. See? Clockwork carpet, clockwork lamps, clockwork boxes, and everything. Let's go. Splot. Oh! Nereva. New incarnation of Imperfect / the General Assembly. What else is here? And the trunk. And books. Book number 1 is about Realms of Clockwork City. And book number 2 is about Fire Darkness, Brotherhood of Death, Part 1. Oh, he likes fiction. Twirly twirly. What else? Trunk. I'm going to loot everything here. Something might be useful. Okay. Some bits of factotum, so Dwemer stuff. A thingy. Very pretty thingy. Yeah, I think they changed because last time I read his books, one was related to Hermias Mora, so that I remember because that's something that we're going to deal in the very near future. So yeah, either it's random. I don't think they change as in I think if I reloaded and returned here, they would be different. So they randomized as you spawn into the instance, or it changes or something. But yeah, they're not always the same. Oriandra.
You must be the adventurer that Valcerin was going on about.
Yes, I'm friend of
Allow me to be
Valcerin.
the first to welcome you to our secret island.
Yeah, not the first, really.
I suppose you already talked to the Right Master.
Yeah.
Seeing as you're here in Kapora Tower.
The Right Master sent me to to get an amplification elixir for the ritual they're conducting.
That strange pearl has certainly been reluctant to reveal its secrets. The Right Master hates it when an inanimate object refuses to cooperate. Regarding the amplification elixir, I just cataloged it. It's a Sotha Seal creation, as you'd expect.
So you have only one and we'll use it? Sotha Seal is a member of the Sijic Order?
What? No, not in the traditional sense. He's not one of our monks, if that's what you're asking. More like an honorary member, I guess you'd say. According to my records, the silver vial should be right over there.
I'll find it.
As soon as the pearl arrived via Valcerin's transference spell, the Right Master gathered the conclave to prepare an augury ritual. He's been cycling sages through to keep them fresh, while slowly increasing the intensity of the ritual.
So why aren't you helping with the ritual?
I'm the Right Master's acolyte. I have other duties to perform. Besides, such a complex ritual requires the power of the conclave of the 11 forces. I'm not that strong yet. Under the Right Master's tutelage, I expect to attain that rank. One day.
How did an Imperial end up in the Sijic Order?
Despite opinions to the contrary, being an Altmer isn't a prerequisite for membership in the Sijic Order. The Right Master noticed my potential and invited me to join. I had a year to consider the offer, but I made my decision immediately.
I'm not sure I understand where we are. How did the Sijics hide our team?
I'm not allowed to reveal where you are or how our magic works, other than to tell you that you have arrived upon the fabled island of the Sijic Order.
Yeah, that much I
Artaeum.
get.
While we're not currently part of Nirn's reality, we still keep track of events there.
How do you manage to keep track of events on Nirn from wherever this is?
I could say we have our ways and leave it at that, but you deserve a better explanation. The Right Master sends Sijics back to the world to perform tasks and gather information. Plus, we have powerful scrying magic that reveals all sorts of details.
I better find that elixir the Ratmeister requested.
I was examining the vial of amplification elixir myself just a short time ago. It should be right over there.
Yeah, over there is where. Ooh, nice bottle. Let's go. We got the bottle.
Was Oriandra able to direct you to the proper elixir?
I don't know if
Without
it's
something
proper.
to amplify the magic, our ritual is going to fail.
I just grabbed the bottle. Here's the amplification elixir you requested.
Just in time. For the next stage of the ritual, if you have no objections, I'd like you to join us. Your experiences alongside Valcerin might help reveal what has so far eluded our efforts.
Not a mage, though. How can I help with the ritual?
We'll handle the magic.
Okay.
You pour the elixir into the scrying pool and stand close. As the ritual's power amplifies, your experiences with the Pearl and the false Aldark should help the augury do its job.
Is it safe? And what is the augury's job exactly?
We want to discover the origin of the Pearl and its strange magic. In addition, anything we can learn about the false Aldark and his connection to the Pearl would be helpful. Otherwise, we're stepping blindly into Oblivion's maw here.
All right, tell me what you need me to do.
Pour the elixir into the pool. That should provide the final boost we need to trigger the augury.
So spill a thing in water.
Here we stand, the most favored servants of Clavicus Smile, Mephala, and Nocturnal, on the verge of the greatest victory for our princes.
Are you sure those creatures can be trusted?
Have no fear. Isn't that why we formed the Court of Bedlam? Besides, what happens next in Relenthil will seal Somerset's fate.
That's still a car. And 2 more people. Hi, Val. You have anything to say?
I suppose I'll be off to Relenthiel.
Where?
You too, I imagine. In the meantime, I believe the Right Master wishes to speak to you.
Yeah, he does.
That was unnerving.
Bit.
It seems the false Aldark belonged to an alliance of Daedric cultists called the Court of Bedlam. Imagine the faithful of Clavicus Vile, Mephala, and Nocturnal working together. This is more serious than I anticipated.
Well, no surprise, Clavicus Val and Nocturnal already worked together. We know that from the previous adventures. Have you ever heard of the Court of Bedlam?
No, but I'm hardly an expert on the Daedric cults of Tamriel.
Who is, actually?
The magic I sensed in the pearl, though, it doesn't contain the taint of oblivion. We're missing something. But what? I suppose we'll need to find out what's going on in Relenthiel.
I can travel to Relenthiel.
I hoped you'd say that.
Mm.
Relenthiel sits to the west of Shimmerine, just across the mountains. I'll send Valcerin with you to talk to the Cannon Reeve. The false Aldark may be dead, but Mephala's and Nocturnal's agents remain, as well as the pearls.
I have a few questions before I head to Relenthiel.
I may not be a natural prognosticator, but I had a feeling you might. Go ahead. I'll answer what I can.
Do the Daedric princes always work together? Well, didn't Sotasil told me that... no?
From what I've experienced, an alliance isn't just unusual. It's contrary to their very nature. Oh, they'll work together from time to time, but something as complex as what Sotasil hinted at is unheard of. Makes me interested to learn more.
What can you tell me about Relenthiel?
Very little, I'm afraid. The last time I passed through that area was more than 350 years ago. They made an exquisite wine, as I recall, and the House of Reveries theater troupe always put on an entertaining show.
Did you learn anything more about the Pearl?
The augury ritual extracted a vision of the false Aldark and the Court of Bedlam, but nothing specifically about the Pearl. Its magic isn't Daedric, though. How they can steal life energy and use it to summon those sea creatures remains a mystery.
Alright, let's go to Relenthiel. No, Somerset. Somerset. What's the closest? This is the closest way shrine. Cape Can't keep. What? Why can't mount? Oh, because I was on the stairs. Yeah. I need to eat something. That's the last one. Okay. Nom nom nom.
Drat! Which one could he possibly be?
There's one quest here that you literally have the right and wrong choice. Hi there, kitty cat.
Ah, this one has been looking for you.
Yeah? In the middle of a road?
Raz's investigations have brought him to Relenthiel. When this one noticed your Sijic friend slip into town, Raz figured you'd be along soon. So, What did you discover on Arteum, the island that isn't here anymore? Ugh, that made Raz's head hurt.
What do you think I feel? I've been there. We learned the false Oldag belonged to the Daedric cult called the Court of Bedlam.
Yes, this one has been exploring the Daedric connection as well. But Raz hates Daedra. In Raz's experience, very little good comes from dealing with Daedra or their cultists.
Agreed.
And this revelation brings you to Relendil, yes?
Other members of the cult mentioned that something was going to happen in Relendil.
That is disturbingly vague.
I know.
Why must cryptic cultists be so... Cryptic? Well, Raz saw Valserin head toward Canonry Farmeldo's house. This one suggests we start our investigation of the area there.
Right. That's where I was supposed to meet Valsiren. Okay, let's go to Cannon Reef, something Meldo house.
Go inside and we'll discuss this later. And take off that ridiculous hood.
Ridiculous? I'll show you what's ridiculous. I'll show you all!
You think as Canon Reeve I'd be immune to the troublesome temper of a spoiled and rebellious child. But what distinguished visitors I have today. A wandering sage, a well-dressed Khajiit, and you. What brings such a group to Relenthiel?
Yeah, I'm a buoyant armiger. We investigated reports of unusual occurrences here in Relenthiel.
Investigating? For who? Well, there have been 3 reports this week of someone disappearing. And my intractable son Nadoril and his malcontent friends have been cavorting around the large sinkhole that recently appeared.
Do you think the missing people, the sinkhole, and your son's friends are related?
What are you implying?
Just asking.
They're just young and proud of their heritage. I wouldn't draw such a harsh conclusion without substantial evidence. I can't understand why they're fascinated with the sinkhole, but that doesn't make them criminals.
Any objects to us, objection to us investigating the sinkhole?
It's unusual for newcomers to encroach upon Altmer affairs, especially since we rarely saw any prior to the Queen's decree. If you want to investigate, I won't try to stop you. And if anything happens, maybe it will teach my son to avoid the place.
Yeah, they're always talk down to you. So smug. I'll let you know if you find anything to be concerned about.
Raz wants to ask the Canon Reeve a few more questions. Take the Sijik and go investigate this sinkhole.
Okay, well, what do you say?
The Canon Reeve's son certainly seems agitated about something. I wonder where he ran off to in such a state. Well, I suppose we should go and take a look at the sinkhole the Canon Reeve mentioned.
Why do you think the Canon Reeve saw Nedoril and his friends gathered at this sinkhole?
That's a rather dangerous and unsavory location for a gathering of young Altmer. The Canon Reeve referred to them as malcontents, who are proud of their heritage. Makes me curious to see what we'll find when we get there.
Do you think the sinkhole might be connected to the Daedric plot?
I'd rather not speculate. We'll see for ourselves soon enough. I just hope the Canon Reeve's son hasn't gotten involved with anything too terrible. Children, they can be as frustrating as they are loving.
Do you have any children? Wow. Oh, wow.
I had a daughter. She fell ill. Even the best minds of the Conclave couldn't cure her malady. She's no longer with us. Enough of that.
Sorry.
Let's go see what the sinkhole has to show us.
I'm nosy.
Dawnbreaker, open the way! Oh, come on! Stupid Daedric interference! I'll be back!
Yeah, Khajiit woke up, meows. Eats. Meows some more. Okay, here we go. Well, that was some golden knight or something. I don't know.
I think we can enter through these roots.
Enter through the roots.
Nidoriel's mad! He attacked Eldon, and one of those horrible creatures tore off my hood!
Tore off your hood. Oh my gosh, your hood. What a tragedy.
That young woman was certainly in a hurry.
Yeah, she lost her hood.
And what was that about Nidoril and an attack?
She said that Nidoril attacked someone and something about creatures and pulling off her hood.
Yes, well, let's be on our guard then. I don't think this sinkhole is completely natural. Its size concerns me. If the ground continues to fall away, it could swallow all of Relenthal.
Do you really think this sinkhole is that dangerous?
It certainly feels dangerous. And if it does figure into the Court of Bedlin's plans, well, I can't think of a more frightening event than watching Relenthal get swallowed by a sinkhole. Let's proceed and find out what's going on down here.
Okay. Nothing good, I imagine. Siagra make awful sounds.
The walls and ceiling, they don't look stable. I'll try to reinforce the weak spots and catch up with you.
Where am I going?
More of those Yagra creatures. Be careful.
Oh, there's something going on with
size
the
of this
pearl.
place. It's almost as if someone dug up through the island. I'll teleport closer to the central area and meet you there.
Can't you teleport me? Yeah.
Is someone there?
Yeah.
Help! Please help!
Who are you?
Crazy bastard stabbed me! God, this hurts!
Tell me what happened.
It was just kind of fun. Joining the Court of Bedlam. Espousing the virtues of our Ultima heritage. But Nidoril, he took things too far.
Yeah, you were supposed to join the Daedric cult. It's never fun. What do you mean too far?
When we heard that they planned to release those creatures, I made the mistake of saying they were insane. Nidoril objected, called me unworthy. That's when he stabbed me.
Eldon, where's Nidoril now? Eldon?
The Court of Bedlam will eradicate the lesser races. Maybe even deal with our unworthy queen.
Yeah, okay, he's bonkers.
Over here. Keep quiet and tell me if you see what I see.
Jabba the Hutt. I see Jabba the Hutt.
You see that, right? My eyes aren't playing tricks on me.
No.
That's a sea slode. They haven't been seen in Somerset since, well, it's been centuries at least.
What's a sea slode?
A vile and dangerous species. Very powerful. The sea slode come from the distant underwater kingdom of Ulvorkus. Who's that hooded figure with the slode? And look, more of those abyssal pearls. They're everywhere.
Why are the sea slodes, big frogs, dangerous?
The slode are a godless people. Perhaps the most hated in Tamriel. And the sea slode are even worse. They employ depraved magic and have long coveted Somerset. They believe it once belonged to them. They pillage, release plagues. They're horrible.
On a second thought, it's not even a cute frog, it's just a toad. It's a big toady. Does this have something to do with the Court of Bedlam?
The hooded figure could be a member of this so-called Court of Bedlam. At this point, nothing would surprise me. That slode has me worried, though. I can't think of anything worse than an alliance between those foul beasts and Daedric cultists.
Could this be the source of the abyssal pearls?
They could certainly have a connection to the sea slode's submerged kingdom, but they appear to have been placed down here. Look how the Yagra are drawn to them. I'll head for the sea slode. You deal with those abyssal pearls.
I'll destroy the abyssal pearls. You be careful.
Master, intruders in the cave.
Heed me, my creatures! Destroy the intruders!
That young idiot. We need to get over there.
Witness the power of Kator on the abyssal cabal!
Where am I going? Wow, the toady has quite a voice.
This way. We're almost there.
Oui. She's like a speedrunner through the dungeon, just runs ahead.
Destroy the pearls! We can't let those creatures reach the surface!
And I have to deal with all the mobs where she runs
and the
through.
hooded figure are gone. I'll try to determine where they disappeared to.
Smash. Ow. Smash.
This way! Up here!
What happened to you? Why am I sliding? Up here? Here's up here? Oh yeah.
Damn! No sign of where the sea slode disappeared to.
Oh. Didn't leave the slimy... trace? That was kind of a slug.
Damn it! I wasn't fast enough.
No. So that's it? The sea slode escaped?
For the time being. Let's see what's through that opening.
What opening? Well,
the sea slode left us something to remember it by. We need to dispatch that creature.
I remember this creature killed me the first time I fought it. Because I didn't know to avoid those AoEs.
There! I think we can get out over there.
Yeah, I see the light! Hi, Bub. What you doing, Bub?
Hurry, this way. Somehow Raz knew he'd find you here.
What? Didn't you send me here?
Sea slodes. This is worse than the Right Master imagined. Meet me in Artaeum after you talk to the Queen's Eye.
To the Queen's cat. Bye. Well, let's talk Raz.
Did the pretty Sijik say sea slode?
Yeah, she did.
No. Raz must have heard wrong. That could not have been what she said.
The sea slode Takora is working with the Court of Bedlam, including the Canon Reeve's son.
Slode? That's bad. And sea slode? That sounds even worse.
There are all the
If the
slodes.
sea slode threatens Somerset, Queen Irene must be informed. We need to act. Wait. What did you say about the Canon Reeve's son?
Netheril joined the Court of Bedlam. He killed a fellow initiate, took another's hood, and was working with the slowed Toady.
Daedra worshippers. In Somerset. And Slode. Oh, Raz likes this situation less and less. As for Nedoril, Raz knows how to deal with traitors. This one will meet you at the Canon Reeve's house.
I'll see you there. After I unlock this way shrine here. There's a logbook. Varieties of Fate, the High Elves. Trinimaki, Ifre, Siren, Stendar. Oh, another logbook. Veya's Private Thoughts, Part 2. We missed Part 1 somewhere. Art C. When you're a passenger on a ship that must travel an immense distance, your boredom increases with each passing day. In a way, this boredom has allowed me to process my thoughts. To try to understand the events that transpired and how I now find myself heading to Somerset. But what do I reflect on? Why? The circumstances that brought me to this point, of course. How my brother was taken from me. How my family and the damn honor were to blame. I avenged my brother, even though that meant taking the life of my father. My former master tried to help me. She spirited me out of Morrowind, put me on this ship to a distant foreign land. Even if she refused to listen to my arguments and pleased to stay, her intentions were good. At least I keep telling myself that. She had to lie to so many people, her organization, her allies, her loved ones, all to ensure that I got out of there safely. Can I really forget that she tried to kill me, though? That she tried to stop me from doing the very thing that I had to do? Her and the other one. The one I thought was my friend. I'm still alive, I guess that's something. I know I did the right thing, and I'd kill my father again. In this world, all the politics and pride. The pursuit of gold and power. It causes nothing but death, death, and more death. I'd do anything to put an end to it all. Veya is angry. Very angry. Okay, let's see what's going on here now.
The Eye of the Queen? How dare you accuse my son of treason?
I have to talk to you? Okay, I'll talk to you.
The Queen's Eye. How dare he not identify himself when he first arrived? And how dare he accuse my foolish son of something as serious as treason?
I've been there, I've seen it.
The Queen shall hear of this, mark my words.
Netheril is more than foolish. He killed a high elf and is working with a sea slode.
Sea slode? Plus all this nonsense about Altma's superiority, and now murder? I am the Canon Reeve of Relenthil. I took an oath to serve and protect my community. How in the Queen's name am I supposed to reconcile my son's actions?
That's not something I can help you with.
Oh, Nadoril, what have you done? Please, you must talk to the Queen's eye. He needs to show mercy. I'm sure we can find a way to resolve this without... Oh, here comes Nadoril now.
Your son has a lot to answer for, Canon Reeve.
I have a lot to answer for? The court of Bedlam is going to turn me into a god.
Really?
Foolishness can be ignored. Murder and treason, not so much.
You and your queen have no authority over a true Ultima, you mangy cat.
This one cannot allow your crimes to stand unanswered.
Nadoril! No! No! I understand. Relenthil is loyal to the Queen.
Oh, poor daddy. Oh, poor daddy. Your son is a jackass, but... well... Raz.
Sometimes the eye sees treason and must cut it out before it spreads. This one is sorry you had to witness that.
Couldn't you have arrested Nadoril instead of executing him?
Blasphemy, treason, murder. How many crimes must one commit to attract the attention of the executioner's blade? Raz decided that a message had to be sent. Enemies of the Queen will not be tolerated.
Okay, could you have not execute him not in front of his daddy? I've rarely seen you see this serious.
Treason and the Queen's justice are serious business. Raz has been forced into this role on rare occasions, but he never seeks it out or looks forward to wielding the blade. A necessary part of my job, yes.
Is there anything else you need from me right now?
No. Raz will see to the Canon Reeve and send word to the Queen before looking deeper into the Court of Bedlam. You should return to Arteum and let the Siegiks know what we learned. I tell you, Five Claw, this whole situation makes Raz want to hiss.
Hiss. I'm so sorry. He's so sad. Okay. That's the closest, this one. Way Shrine? The one I just unlocked. Arteum. So many people doing the quest here. Look at that. Have any notebooks? Oh, he's got nice floating bed and floating books. Oh, here, regarding Thorn Black stuff. Ah, it's related to the Sijik questline. Is that law book or just book under the light?
Ah, friend of Valcerin.
Yeah, that's me.
I've been informed that you encountered a sea slode in a sinkhole beneath Relenthil.
A big toady.
That bodes ill for Somerset, perhaps all of Nirn. I fear there are difficult days ahead.
The sea slode toady called itself Decora. I think they are himself or herself, not itself. the people.
I'm familiar with that particular sea slode and its renegades. Call themselves the Abyssal Cabal. I thought I
Doesn't
defeated
sound
them
good.
long ago, but it appears I was in error. What about the pearls? Valcerin mentioned you encountered more in the sinkhole.
Takora used abyssal pearls to summon Yagra to attack Relenthil.
Val described those seaborne monstrosities. I have a vague recollection of Katora utilizing such creatures in the past, but for some reason, the memories refuse to snap into focus. I suppose that's another mystery I'll need to look into.
Why would the Daedric princes require the aid of a sea slode?
The Daedric princes require minions to carry out their will, and the Slode have always had an interest in the green and pleasant island. It isn't hard to see why they might work together. For now, you have my thanks for assisting Valcerin.
You're well welcome.
I asked the Conclave of the 11 Forces to ponder how we can learn more from the Abyssal Pearl.
Okay, this is the
more
new...
we learn, the more the nature of the threat becomes clear.
This is the new, sleep. Oh, I can't sleep properly on the bed. Why I'm not floating with the bed? Put that sword away. I will fall off, right? Now, of course. I really can't. Come on. The other way around. Let's try this again. Sleep. Yeah, you're tired. You deserve some rest. And, the bed is just under you, floating. We stop here because we are 2 hours. And next week we'll pick up. We'll stay here in his room. And see where the story of the toadies will take us. Yeah, I've been busy running around. I don't know anyone here except you, and I'm afraid of Valcerin, but, you know, sleeping in her bed would be inappropriate, so I'm sleeping in his, since they need my help. So, see you next week. We'll wake up, I hope rested and fresh, and go on investigating toadies and other monstrosities. You have a great week too.